Okay, welcome to Balder's Kitchen, where the magic's cooked up. This is my second guide. So in the first guide, what we covered was what to do in the initial seconds of the game. Now, after that, what you need to do is establish a steady income of food so you can continuously produce workers. Now, I'm purely on this one going to focus on early herdables, so like you might see Banthas or nerfs around the board. And we discussed those. So let's get the game started. Hopefully this will be a map where there are herdables. It would just make explaining it so much more simpler. Right, here we go. So I'll start with the start that I showed you before. Double click on that. Get scouting around. Right, perfect. Right, let's stop there. Okay, so when I'm playing a game, a major question at the beginning of the game is it going to be a board where there are no herdables, a small number of herdables, large numbers of herdables, or like a silly number of herdables? Now, this is really important because gathering herdables and put them in animal nurseries is like having free workers on food. So as a rule of thumb, what I think, I might be wrong, but for every 2 nerfs or banthas you have in an animal nursery, that's the equivalent to having a worker on food. So basically, if at the beginning of the game you get, is that 8 or 10? So say it's 10 nerfs. If you put them in an animal nursery, that's like somebody giving you 5 free workers that are continually picking up food, okay? Now, the question is, how many nerfs do you have to find to make it worth your while forking out 100 carbon to build an animal nursery? So, I'm going to say, if there's only 2 nerfs, okay, it's not worth your while building an animal nursery because doing so will slow down your T2 time overall because you have to fork out 100 carbon to build the animal nursery and you're not getting very much back for it. So if there's just 2 nerfs, it's far better to move those nerfs to your command center and just kill them by your command center and gather food from them, which is a good use of them, okay? Then you enter that grey area where you might find 3 or 4 nerfs. That grey area is where you can maybe build an animal nursery, hoping that you might find more. And will it speed up or slow down your T2 time? I'm not really too sure. But then here, so is that 8 or 10 nerfs? I'm not going to count them. If you get on a map where there's that many nerfs, then this is really good. You can build up a really powerful economy that's easy to manage really quickly. So on a map like this, immediately, just after you built your prefab, just build an animal nursery straight off and then get those nerfs straight into the animal nursery. Even if it's going to be a map where you can see there's loads of nerfs like this, you might even consider building an additional medic purely to send around the board scouting as well, because if there's loads of herdables on the board, it's almost like a race against your opponents, so who can get the most. And if there's shed loads of herdables, basically, you can just forget about food in a way. Just get all your workers on carbon so that you can just build as many animal nurseries as quickly as you can. So you can just have all your workers on carbon, collecting carbon to build animal nurseries, and all that food income you need will come in from the herdables in your animal nurseries. Okay, so I will stop there for this one. Just remember, my estimate was that for every 2 herdables you can get into an animal nursery, it's kind of vaguely the equivalent of having a worker on food in terms of adding to your economy. Right, I'll stop there. Quit the game.